Good evening, and welcome to the 716 Playbook, where every play counts. I appreciate everybody for tuning in right now. If this is your first time coming on, I appreciate it. I hope you stay. And if you are a reoccurring viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Now, look, there is a lot to catch up on. This is not going to be that long of an episode, but I do have to tell you, I'm kind of trying to work out some of the technical difficulties. If this is your first time, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I've had some issues with the technical difficulties, just the stream not coming in clearly, connectivity issues. I guess I'm kind of overloading my MacBook Pro, which kind of tells you as much as you need to know. Trying to run this on a multi-platform stream with a MacBook Pro is not the smartest idea, but I don't have much other of a choice. So it is what it is right now. My hair isn't great today either, but that is okay. Look, today is what it is, and we're going to get through it one day at a time. I have been in the works with trying to figure out what to do about uploads. I noticed that last week's was still a little glitchy. So this week's, I'm going to check back, watch it, see how it goes. And if I still feel like there's a connectivity problem, I'm going to look into the idea of filming on Monday nights and uploading on Tuesdays, or filming on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock and then uploading afterwards. I have not figured that out yet. But if I do that, if that is an option that has to happen in order to ensure that I can get the best quality. Because if I'm just recording, that there's no streaming, then I can just get the quality that is the camera. If I can do that, then I'll probably do it twice a week to kind of give more content. It might be shorter episodes, but it might be 2 times a week then. Look, we got some things to talk about, all right? We got a lot of things to talk about because we're going to be discussing the Buffalo Bandits. That's not the transition that I wanted, but it's a transition that we just got. Unfortunately, I am the only person running this, so, I sometimes forget to change the transition. So we're going to try that again. We're going to go back to the intro. And we're going to talk about the Bandits. The Bandits. If you don't know, the Buffalo Bandits are 7 times NLL champions and have completed the three-peat for the second time in NLL history to do so. The first time that this happened was 2012, 2013, 2014 with the Rochester Nighthawks, which is now a team in Halifax. That team transferred to Halifax, and then a new Rochester Nighthawks with a new franchise, with a new owner popped up. But this team, this Buffalo Bandits team, and this Rochester Nighthawks team have one thing in common. They had a special goalie by the name of Matt Vince, who for all 3 years in both teams was there to help them achieve a three-peat, which means that, yes, you heard that correctly, Matt Vince now has 2 three-peats. 2. It's insane. On the topic of Matt Vince, before we get into the game, sadly, Matt Vince is old. He is still a great player, but he's contemplating what he should do next. What does his future hold? Whether that be another team or whether that be to retire. I'm not sure. I do not want to lose Matt Vince, but this is what happens. It's unfortunate. We went undefeated in Buffalo during this playoff run, which means quarterfinals, semifinals, now the finals. We were undefeated, which is massive. Props to the guys for not allowing a situation where Buffalo had to lose at home, especially losing game 1. I'm proud. We swept the first 2 rounds, only lost 1 time, and that was in Saskatchewan, to bring it back to Buffalo to ultimately win this in Banditland. We won 15-6, and Ian McKay won the NLL Finals MVP. Let me tell you, this game was exciting for about a quarter, and then it turned into a bloodbath, and then it got exciting again, and then the halftime, and then it was a bloodbath again. The Rush scored. Wow. This is terrible. I'm choking on a granola bar that I ate 30 minutes ago. I apologize. If it's not connectivity issues, it's Kyle issues. Anyway, the Rush scored first 17 seconds in. When they scored, I did not have a good feeling about it. I'm going to be honest with you. That did not make me feel great. But Josh Byrne answered quickly back before the Rush then scored again. This kind of kept up for a little bit before the Bandits then went 4 consecutive shots in a row unanswered. And we were up 7-3. And then the Rush were able to bring the score back to 7-6 when they went on a 3-goal run unanswered. And it ended the first half 7-6. Now, the second half, I mean, they kept the same tenacity as they did in that consecutive run that they did in the first half. In the second half, Chase Frazier came running out. He came running right out. He went crazy, and he had a behind-the-back goal, and it was in such Chase Frazier fashion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly encourage you to go look at the highlights. It was insane. The Bandits then decided to pile on and had 5 more unanswered goals in the third, leading 13-6 at the end of the third quarter. We ended 15-6 to win. The defense was phenomenal. Matt Vince was a massive help in this game. We were firing on all cylinders. We were able to score. We were able to defend. And Matt Vince had 42 saves and 13 of them coming out of the fourth quarter. And it was a very impressive win. It was rightfully so a Game 3. Not only a championship on the line, but a 7-time championship on the line. And a chance to have something that not most NLL teams have, which is a three-peat. Well, the Bandits did it in Bandit fashion. As I'm wrapping up this year, I just want to say this has been the most exciting season. John Tavares, he came up and he started talking, and he's the head coach, and he was saying, we haven't said three-peat all year, and now we can finally say it, and I'm proud. They were very humble. They did really well at the beginning and then finished 4-4. And were able to really pick that back up in the playoffs. I think it was just a phenomenal season. The last couple of years has been great. They have now sealed it. This team is a dynasty. Matt Vince is a dynasty maker. He is if you want a dynasty on your team, you need to have Matt Vince. Putting up 42 saves, average, he's averaging probably around 40 saves a game. I mean, that's just unheard of. And he's doing amazing things. Matt Vince isn't even the number 1 goalie in the NLL, apparently. I would say he is, because he shows up when it matters. And he shows up a lot in the fourth quarter. And I'm just really impressed by what I see all in all with this team. So very exciting stuff. And let me just tell you, the NLL was never talked about the way that it is now. Game 3 was sold out, okay? And I'm watching ESPN. I'm watching the Pat McAfee show, which talks a lot about the NFL, the NBA, even the NHL, sometimes very hazy on the NHL. Guess what? They started talking about the NLL. And I want to tell you that I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Bandits, because what they've been able to do the last 3 years has caught eyes, a lot of eyes. So very excited to see what the future holds. And you know what? We got 3. Let's see what we can do. Can we do 4? Can we do 4? I'm happy with 3. Can we do 4? So, but that is what I have to say. For the fact that they can get somebody like Pat McAfee to talk about it, and it was talked about all over the place. And I even saw it on like major news headlines and major news sources like MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, the New York Post, Politico. They were all talking about it in their sports section. So that's pretty cool. So pretty cool to get shout outs from massive media. So yeah. All right, we're going to move on. Bandits, I appreciate you. I love you. probably one of our last Bandit segments for a little bit because in the off season, little news will come up here and there. But obviously, we have other things to focus on, like what is this team going to do? What is the Buffalo Sabres' future? What does it hold? 14 years in a row of not going to the playoffs is just disgusting. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm ready for the drought to end. I think we have a lot of young, solid guys. Before I go into the rumors, this is what I have to lay on this is the cards I have to lay out. If I'm the GM, if I'm Kevin Adams, and I'm looking at this strategically, respectfully, this is what I'm going to say to you. Don't worry about getting rid of really solid rookies or young guys who are just developing, because you want a veteran now. You want a skilled player now. I don't care about that guy. At the end of the day, we have JJ Peterka, Tage Thompson, Bowen Byram. We have a bunch of guys that are so solid. We have Darlene. We have all these guys that are just, they can develop very strongly together. I don't think they have the same potential not together, especially if you take like Byram and Darlene apart. I don't think Byram is anywhere close to what he would be without Darlene pairing on the defensive end. But this is what I have to say. I think we should be focusing on the young guys we have now. Do not look at them and say, oh, they're finally doing really good. We're developing them. They have some sort of value. Let's see what we can get on the market. I don't think we should do that at all. I think we should sit back and we should hold our cards tight, and we should continue to develop and let these guys play. What I saw at the end of the season was drastically different from what I saw in the beginning of the season. The Sabres are a drastically different team than they were. Mark my words. I'm not going to hang it on the drought is over. What I'm going to hang it on is there's a future. That light might be dim. It might still be a far ways to go before we're out of the tunnel. But the last thing I need is Kevin Adams to finally start doing things. Buddy, you haven't done anything up until this point. Just sit back and let Lindy do what he's needed to do, and let him develop the guys that we have. With that being said, a couple of rumors, not a lot of real news going on. One of the biggest rumors is Rob Ray, former Sabres player and current commentator for the Buffalo Sabres, is considering a retirement. So obviously it's just a rumor right now, but be on the lookout for what that looks like. We're gauging the market for Bowen Byram. He's a defenseman. He's 23 years old. He pairs very well with Darlene, like I was saying, but he is at a high value, so they want to see what they can get for him. Again, I don't think that is smart. There's also a rumor going on that JJ Peterka is the number one rated trade target. He's only 23 as well. He had 27 goals last season, which was second best behind Tage Thompson. It would be so dumb for the Sabres to get rid of JJ Peterka. I don't even see a world where we would do that, especially with the way that Tage Thompson's been playing, the way that who is leading us and having pairing so well with JJ at second in command. I just think it's so stupid having Alex Tuck there as well. I mean, there's so many guys who are solid players that you're going to give up on, who could be perfect for rotations. Just continue to get young guys, develop them together, and let's see what we can build. Tage Thompson, this is your food for thought. This is a good way to end the Sabres segment. Very quick Sabres segment. Tage Thompson, who played for Team USA over the weekend, playing in the World Championship against Switzerland. The game was 0-0 going into overtime. Tage Thompson scored the winning goal in overtime to end the game and win, and helped Team USA be the world champions for the first time in 92 years. Tage Thompson is representing Buffalo very well. And if this is what Tage Thompson can do for the Sabres, imagine now that the NFL players can now play for Team USA in the Olympics. Imagine what Josh Allen can do, James Cook could do, Khalil Shakir could do. Imagine what those guys Christian Benford could do. Imagine what those guys could do for the Bills to represent Buffalo in a football game on the world stage. I think that's just amazing. But anyway, shout out to Team USA for being world champions for the first time in 92 years. It's very impressive. And congratulations to Tage Thompson. You deserve it for having the only goal to win the game in overtime in the world championship. That's just great. Awesome. I love that. So anyway, we're going to wrap this episode up with, obviously, the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo favorites. Maybe not for too much longer if the Bandits keep it up. The Buffalo Bills, their OTA started today. Now, look, before I get into any of that, I'm going to talk about some other stuff before we get into the OTAs, which, if you don't know, it's like voluntary training. Voluntary, keyword voluntary, because there's a player that was missing today, and we'll talk about it, and you'll probably assume who it is already, but it's not looking great, in my opinion. But before we get into all of that, in honor of Memorial Day weekend, I want to remember the guard, Bob Kalsu, who played for the Bills in 1968. Unfortunately, Bob was killed in action in Vietnam. And so just to remember him and all the fallen soldiers who have died to give us freedom, to give us rights in this country. Freedom is not free. And I have a brother who is currently serving in the military, and I commend anybody, whoever it is, who is serving in the U.S. military. It's not easy. From a physical and a psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual, that health is just, it's being beaten down every day. And the chance that you could unknowingly step into your last day every day. You wake up not knowing if this is your last day, because you are the first person called to action. So I lift up guard Bob Kalsu, who played for the Buffalo Bills in 1968. What an amazing patriot, who unfortunately had his life taken from him in Vietnam. So, all right. OTAs started today. We got 4 quarterbacks right now on the roster. We have 16 offensive linemen, 6 running backs, 13 wide receivers, 5 tight ends, 8 edges, 4 specialists, 9 defensive tackles, 7 linebackers, 18 defensive backs. If you add all that together, I don't know what number that gets, but it's a lot more than 53. I can tell you that right now. So the 53-man roster is going to be I keep saying 53. I really hope it's not 52, but I feel like I'm going to get fact-checked. Either way, the final cut, obviously, is going to cut a lot of these guys, but names to shout out, obviously, Josh Allen, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, James Cook. You got, that's just our bat. That's just the backfield. There's so many other people. I'm not going to name all these guys off this list. But you know who's on the team. 2 big things. Sean McDermott did speak today in OTAs with the media. James Cook was the only Buffalo Bill to not attend the OTAs today. But it is voluntary. I'm not happy. I just want to say that right now. I'm not happy. Because I saw this play out last year in OTAs. When Stephon Diggs did not show up to voluntary training camp. I'm not a fan. But mandatory minicamp is in June, so I'm hoping that we can see him June 10th to 12th. So June 10, 11, and 12 is mandatory minicamp. We will see if James Cook is there, and maybe James Cook will show up later in the week. I have no idea. I don't speak for him. But let me tell you this. For a guy who keeps claiming that he doesn't want to get the contract in the way of the team, he is allowing the contract to get in the way of the team. And he thinks he's taking the moral high ground by not showing up because he is holding out for some money. If I was the upper management, I would say, this is your last year on the team, kid. Goodbye. This is how you want to act. We can play tough love all day. I love James Cook. I think he's amazing. I don't think he's the only amazing running back out there. Period. If anybody wants to argue with me because they think James Cook is good, do not argue with me. I think James Cook is good. That's not the argument that I'm making. The argument that I'm making is that James Cook cannot control the entire upper management, control how much he makes just because he can hold out because he's a good player. Respectfully, there's other good players we will put above you. Ty Johnson, great triple threat. Literally a triple threat. I don't know if he's going to run, catch the ball, or block. All right, Ray Davis is a powerhouse. Will destroy kids. You got Reggie Gillum, a fullback, who's destroying kids. You got Frank Gore, who's got the speed of a cheetah. All right, respectfully, I don't think that James Cook is the only running back that can steal the show. I think James Cook was given a lot of opportunities. I still think he's good. Please don't mistake that. I think he's a great player. I'm arguing with myself right now because I know some people watching this on the other side is like, well, James Cook's such a great player. I don't understand why you're having this position. My position is this: because I'm more upset of how he's handling this than it is about his skill level. I would love to keep James Cook. James Cook is clearly running back one. Josh Allen's running back one. James Cook is clearly our number one running back. James Cook is clearly the best candidate. But respectfully, he's not the only person that can get the job done. And if we have to adjust our offense because some kid doesn't want the standard rate that comes as a running back, you knew that coming into it. I have a hard time. I just have a hard time with it. I do. I have a hard time with it. I love James Cook. I hope they can figure it out and make amends. But all in all, I don't think he's going to hold out of the season. I don't. That's my opinion. He's still showing up to like Bills events and fundraisers and stuff. I don't think that he's going to hold out. I think he's just trying to make a point. Bills minority owner and former NBA player Vince Carter was there and spoke as well. Vince Carter, he said that he wants to be an outlet to these guys. I've been around. I've seen a lot. Obviously, as a former athlete, he can bring something to the table. Nothing from the NFL standpoint, but he can bring something to the table when it comes to being an athlete, knowing the struggle and knowing the conditioning, and can be a good support. So he's very present for a minority owner. Most minority owners don't show up. You don't see Bill Maher showing up to the Mets training camp. So for Vince Carter to come out and say this is more than an investment for me, this is an investment into people, speaks a lot on his character, and I think that's really great. And that embodies the Buffalo spirit when it comes based around our sports team. So I do love that, and I'm very glad that Vince Carter is all in on his stake in the team. Joey Bosa is out for the remainder of the spring due to a calf injury. That's what Sean McDermott said. He should be good for training camp. I don't know if this is an excuse for him not to show up for OTAs, or if this is a serious problem, but respectfully, this is concerning. With the history of Joey Bosa and his injuries, I'm very concerned on what the future is, what it holds for Joey Bosa and the Buffalo Bills. I don't need him to be healthy in training camp. I don't need him to be healthy in October. I don't need him to be healthy in November or December. I need him to be healthy in January and February. So get together, get your act together, figure it out, please. But this is like prime Buffalo Bill. Like, this is the Bills right here. Let's sign a guy who's probably dancing out of his prime. He's older, who also is a veteran and has a lot of history of medical issues. And let's just see what he can do on the defensive edge. And cool. All right. So that's that. Sean McDermott, when asked about James Cook, he said James will be here when he's ready to be here. Again, that's all I can say on the matter because that's all that I've been told. The Buffalo Bills were selected for the Hard Knocks training camp. If you don't know what that is, it's an HBO series. It's pretty cool, pretty exciting. The entire NFC East is also in it. So it's like the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. They're in it, and then they pick one division and they pick one extra team. So the Bills are that extra team this year. And Sean McDermott said, to some extent, it's a real compliment to them choosing us now that the criteria has changed. Not sure what the criteria is or what's changed about it, what it used to be, what it is now. Maybe it was let's get to the playoffs. Now it's let's win a Super Bowl. That's what I'm hoping it is. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to get to watch that series. It's going to be on HBO. It's on Max. That's the HBO platform. But the Hard Knocks training camp series will be based around the Buffalo Bills. So that's super exciting to get to watch. Josh Allen was in attendance, even though he has a wedding this weekend. He's getting married to Haley Steinfeld, a very famous actress, who was just recently in a film called Sinners. I did go and see it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's depends on what your genre or what you like, but I thought it was good. As Michael B. Jordan in it. Anyway, I'm not plugging this movie right now, but Haley Steinfeld was in the movie. She's a famous actress, and they're getting married. They've been engaged now for I think almost a year, and they're getting married. But Sean McDermott said it was very happy to see him here, and he would completely have understood if he couldn't make it. But he is the face of our organization and the leader on our team, and it's the expectation that he has always set, and he is meeting his own expectations set by him. So shout out Josh Allen for being there, even though you're getting married in 5 days. You freak, that is crazy. But all love to Josh Allen, Haley Steinfeld. I hope they have a great wedding. and a perfect marriage. That is the prayer for them. Elijah Moore and Josh Allen were clicking today as they were kind of throwing the ball around to each other. More like Josh was throwing it to Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore said, having an opportunity to be with Josh, the MVP, I caught a pass from him today, and I couldn't do nothing but smile. Elijah Moore, I think, will be the breakout addition to this team in the offseason. I think he's going to do very well. Keon Coleman as well had a nice grab. He was running a route, and the throw was a little rough, but he was able to correct it, jump up in the air, and snatch it out of the air. And Keon Coleman has been showing improvement as well. There was a lot of competition in situational football today. It almost seems like a regular season practice in this OTA. I got to watch a lot of film throughout the day, and they are putting in a lot of work. They are taking this season seriously. Dalton Kincaid, he spearheaded a movement that allowed for last week all the team owners met, and they voted on adding a new award for this season. It's called the Protector of the Year Award, and it will be given to an offensive lineman that can best protect their quarterback. Deion Dawkins, who is one of the best guards in the league, I think it's great that you already know Deion Dawkins. He was able to have this kind of influence and put this award forward to recognize guys who put their bodies, like Will Campbell is going to do with Drake May this year with the Patriots, put their bodies in the way to protect their quarterback. I think it's great, and it does deserve recognition. Also, heads up, the Tush Push, which was voted to be banned on last week, did not get enough votes, which means that it will stay moving forward and through this season. Deion Dawkins thinks that Dalton Kincaid will explode the most this season. He has already had the best improvement this offseason from what Deion Dawkins has seen. He believes that Dalton Kincaid will be the prime focus on Hard Knocks as well. If you don't know, Dalton Kincaid missed. It was a kind of a Hail Mary. It was a big heave, to kind of bring us to get us a first down on a fourth down. Against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. And unfortunately, Dalton Kincaid did not make the grab. He took it really bad. He took it to heart, but he is putting in the work to become bigger, faster, and stronger, and quicker. And that's what he wants to see improvements on. All right, we're going to get into one little last thing. That is it for OTAs. There's one last thing. So Tyreek Hill has been in the media a lot. He's been going on like live streams with different influencers. And I'm going to tell you a quote that he said. I am going to kind of rephrase a couple words that he uses because this is a family-friendly show. I'm not cursing on this show. So I will kind of dance around it. So you can add in what you think is there. But this is the quote. F the Bills. It's F the Bills all day. All they want to do is jump through tables because they got CTE. Stupid butt fans. When I played in Kansas City, it was always F the Bills, and we F'd them up every time. Takes it all out of me not to lose it right here on camera. Tyreek Hill, the wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, who are in the same division as the Buffalo Bills and pretty big rivals. I would say not as much this year, in my opinion. I think the Patriots are going to be better rivals. Tyreek Hill also played for the Kansas City Chiefs when they won a Super Bowl. He has a lot of nerve and courage to talk about the Buffalo Bills when I bring up his stat line real quick. So this is Tyreek Hill against the Bills, all right? 45, this is over the course of 9 games. 45 receptions, 470 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he's averaging 5 receptions against the Bills, 52 yards, and 2/9 of a touchdown. I would be pretty upset, too, if I had to play the Buffalo Bills. You have a lot of nerve to come after a team that has wiped the floor with your team for a couple seasons now. Respectfully, Josh Allen owns your team, and that's all I have to say about that. Your stat line speaks for itself. In your career, you're 2-7 against the Bills. And those 2 wins were with the Kansas City Chiefs. So you lost 7 times while a Miami Dolphin. you have yet to beat the Bills since joining the Miami Dolphins. So, respectfully, hop off your soapbox, go back to practicing since you missed a lot of last season due to a wrist injury, and start focusing on football and stop focusing on going on influencer streams. That's it. That's all I got. All right, moving on. Cornerback, Rasul Douglas still does not have a home. There's a couple places that he might go, but he still does not have a place to go. Mark Cooper's future is unknown, as well as Von Miller. All three of them, former Buffalo Bills who were released this offseason, they have no home yet. But I'm going to keep an eye out, and I will give you weekly updates on that. We're going to intro the outro. So I am going to transition this now into the NFL segment real quick. I just have a couple things, and then we're done. Then you are good to go. So we have 100 days until the season opener. It might not feel like it, but in 100 days, we are going to be watching football again. We just have to get through June, July, and August, and then beginning of September. It's right back to it, and I can't be more excited. Got like 12 more episodes, and then I'm in. We're in. We are in. It's going to be glorious. I am trying so hard to go to the Week 1 game in Highmark Stadium against the Ravens in Buffalo. It's going to be it's going to be the last first home opener. Last Week 1 in this stadium before we go to the new stadium. So I really want to go. I'm going to try to go. I also want to go to the Eagles game at the end of the season as well. But yeah, I'm super, super pumped and excited for this season. And besides that, we just have one little added thing. Aaron Rodgers, he admitted that he's not going to sign with the Saints, but he is holding out on an official contract due to friends and family members who he knows who are struggling with cancer. But he did hint at eventually signing the deal with the Steelers. Now, look, I am not going to get in the way of what he's struggling with or what's going on in his family or his friends. I do think, though, that if he's going to play for the Steelers this year, he should let them know. Because if he's going to hold out and then not sign with them, it's not really fair to the Steelers because they do not currently have a quarterback run. Right now, their quarterback run is Mason Rudolph. So we shall see what the Steelers do and what Aaron Rodgers and them can agree upon. But we will know probably within the next couple months. I'm assuming that he's going to sign probably before training camp. But that is really it. Again, shout out to the Bandits for three-peat, second time in NFL history. Hopefully we can keep the young guys and develop them on the Sabres. And Bills, first day no TAs, Joey Bosa being out, and James Cook not being there are two I'm not feeling great about. But in the long haul, I'm super excited to see what this team can do next season in just 100 days. So anyway, as always, I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope only good news, only good things are going to happen. And from a Buffalo standpoint and just in your own life, I hope everything is going well. As always, make sure that you follow all the other accounts. You can see where we are right down below. We are on X, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. You can find out where to find us under what username right down below, right there. And make sure that if you haven't already, you hit the bell notification so that you never miss a post. And as always, make sure you check out the TikTok account, because I am constantly posting videos on there. I just posted a new trend, a Bills-themed trend, just some fun videos to kind of get some publicity for the podcast. But anyway, yeah, if you go to any of those places, any of those platforms, in the bio, you will see a link. You can click it, and it'll bring up all the accounts that you can go and then follow. So make sure you do. And as always, go Bandits, go Sabres, and go Bills.